Logata Guala们的水古今啊Wagi Shyac，大家好，2025新年快乐！欢迎收看Ita 看世界，一起看世界，我是Wagi。
Java Mabulat， 我是 Lidaw。Ita 不仅要带大家一起 see the world， 更要用我们的方式说世界的故事。
澳洲国会最新通过的社群媒体最低年龄法案，全面禁止16岁以下儿童使用社群媒体，预计在2025年11月正式施行。未来科技公司必须实施年龄验证，违规者将面临高额罚款。不过，对于政府这项利益良善的新法案，澳洲民众还是有不同的声音。
Honourable Senators, there being 34 ayes and 19 noes, is passed in the resolved in the affirmative.
11月28日，澳洲国会通过社群媒体最低年龄法案，成为立法禁止16岁以下青少年使用社群媒体的全球首例。该法案将于2025年11月生效，并要求平台采取严格的年龄验证措施，违者将面临最高约新台币10.5亿的罚款。
Platforms now have a social responsibility to ensure the safety of our kids is a priority for them. We've got your back is our message to Australian parents.
为确保法案有效执行，澳洲计划于2025年初试行一项年龄验证系统，采用生物辨识技术或政府身份认证，预计在2025年中完成最终报告，确认该系统能兼顾隐私与执行效能。
So the technology is there and ready and already in place, and Australians are getting ready and starting to use it day to day. I think the key thing for me and something that we see sort of across the conversation in the country is how do you make sure that we implement this and get this right in a way that is privacy preserving, and we give Australians choice, and we don't continue to overshare the amount of data or over collect the amount of personal information from Australians.
然而，法案立法过程争议重重。反对者指出，执行年龄验证的技术难度高，可能引发隐私疑虑，且成效未必如预期。绿党参议员更批评该法案仅是表面功夫。
This is a rubbish bill. It has no substance, and it doesn't even take place for another 12 months. This bill is so weak, is such a veneer. It's to make old people, oldies, adults, feel like they've done something.
支持法案的声音则赞同这项措施能有效保护青少年免受有害的网络内容影响，并为家庭提供更多的主动权。
But for too many young Australians, social media can be harmful. Almost 2/3 of 14 to 17-year-old Australians have viewed extremely harmful content online, including drug abuse, suicide or self-harm, as well as violent material. Social media has a social responsibility. We know they can and should do better to address harms on their platforms. That's why we're making big changes to hold platforms to account for user safety.
不仅国会议场内上演唇枪舌战，议场外的民众同样各执一词。尽管艾班尼斯总理表态要做澳洲父母的后盾，但部分民众似乎不领情。反对者批评政府立法仓促，未充分考虑青少年与家庭的多样需求。
I don't think it's a good thing, really. Because I think that it's not going to stop it, and also the government's taking control of things that it's parents' responsibility. Because parents are going to keep still using their social media, aren't they? And their kids are going to be watching them doing it. So what's the point, really?
Yeah, I think this ban will really stifle creativity. Look, not just in Australia, but there have been young people around the world from the ages of 13, 14, 15 who've been able to explore their passions, maybe make a career out of it through social media in some form or another.
不过，许多研究资料证实，社群媒体的使用与青少年心理健康问题紧密关联，已成为引发焦虑、自卑甚至霸凌等诸多问题的来源。澳洲的网络禁令跨出重要一步，为各国立法者和跨国科技平台提供了相关政策发展的参考框架和指引方向，也凸显了政府、平台及社会必须共同承担保护青少年免受网络负面影响的责任。
墨西哥尤加敦半岛最具特色的自然景观天然井，不只是热门的观光胜地，也是当地玛雅原住民的重要水源。然而，天然井面对的污染问题日益严重，当地组织是提起了诉讼，仿效纽西兰的旺阿努伊河，要求赋予天然井法定人格权，使其享有与人类相同的权利，进一步保护天然井免受各种形式的污染。
Sí existe la creencia de los dueños de los cenotes, que es lo más sagrado y lo más especial, sentir que el lugar está habitado y respetar a los habitantes del lugar. Vamos a empezar a bajar, de preferencia siempre vamos a hacer.
跟随玛雅原住民的脚步，探索墨西哥尤加敦半岛后姆市的Santa María天然井。天然井在当地称为 cenote， 一词源自于玛雅语。对玛雅人来说 ，cenote 被视为是通往地下世界的入口，具有极高的神圣地位。因此，过去他们常在此举行献祭仪式。
Aquí cada uno le prendimos una vela de agradecimiento.
天然井是石灰岩层经过长时间侵蚀风化形成的溶洞和地下河，形态大小不一，景色美丽，是尤加敦半岛最具特色的自然景观之一。洁净的水质不仅吸引无数游客前来朝圣，也是当地居民赖以为生的重要水源。
Yo tengo mucho que agradecerle desde que éramos pequeños, porque al bajar todos los días por el agua para que mi mamá pudiera lavar, para que pudiéramos bañarnos.
墨西哥尤加敦半岛拥有数千个天然井，其中最著名的是围绕半岛西北部的天然井之环。然而，根据墨西哥环境部的统计，目前天然井之环附近就有超过500个养猪场正在营运，其中90%的养猪场没有经过环评，超过60%未获得废水排放许可。
Requiere una gran cantidad de agua, de utilización de agua. Y por supuesto que se asientan en el anillo de cenotes porque ahí tienen una alta disponibilidad y acceso a pocos metros del subsuelo, del suelo, del acceso al agua y un agua obviamente dulce, ¿no? Que les sirve para este tipo de procesos.
来自养猪场的废水在许多情况下会渗入含水层，并进一步污染天然井的水质，带来的臭味更让生活在天然井周围的社区深受其扰。其中 ，City Batch 原住民社区居民就曾在2023年走上街头抗议，要求附近的养猪场撤离。
Lo que me preocupa más es la contaminación del agua, la contaminación del agua porque no vaya a ser que en un futuro ya no podamos consumir esa agua ni para lavar la ropa o para lavar los trastes y para bañarnos sobre todo.
尤加敦半岛的天然井污染问题日益严重，除了养猪场的大量建制、大豆单一种植、农药滥用，还得面对玛雅列车计划带来的威胁。为了进一步保护天然井免受各种形式的污染，当地组织天然井守护者在2022年发起诉讼，要求赋予天然井法定人格权，使其与人类享有相同的权利。
Se platica con las comunidades, en específico con el pueblo maya de Jomún, Y como abogadas y como abogados les proponemos como esta pues nueva corriente del derecho, ¿no? De proteger como tal a la naturaleza, sin importar a quién beneficie, sin importar los daños, buscar a través de las vías judiciales, a través de un juicio, que el anillo de cenotes sea reconocido que tiene derecho.
如同纽西兰的旺阿努伊河和巴西的科米美美姆河，现在有许多国家也陆续通过类似的法律来保护国内的自然资源。若诉讼成功，天然井将成为墨西哥第一个拥有自身权利的生态系统。
埃及投资超过10亿美元，历经10几年新建的大埃及博物馆，今年10月中旬开始对外试营运。这间博物馆收集了埃及各地的重要文物，但是埃及学界与政府都希望部分流落在西方博物馆中的历史文物能够返还，也有终结殖民掠夺时代的象征意义。
位在埃及吉萨金字塔区附近的大埃及博物馆，10月16日对外展开试营运。虽然图坦卡门法老王遗物展厅尚未开放，但游客可以沿着6层楼的大阶梯区拾级而上，在阶梯顶眺望吉萨金字塔后，参观12间主题展厅，沉浸在古埃及的文物中，以吸引来自世界各地的游客抢先朝圣。
So far, amazing. There's a lot of history. There's a lot of things that we are not aware of, especially coming from the other side of the world. And seeing everything here and learning from the locals has been great.
大埃及博物馆的设计与兴建，埃及政府已经投入超过10亿美元。兴建期间，先后碰到阿拉伯之春革命以及 COVID-19 疫情，导致开幕日期多次延宕。但对于埃及来说，这座博物馆非常重要。埃及虽然有知名的古文化以及全球闻名的金字塔，但观光人数与收入却不成正比。埃及政府希望这座新的大型博物馆能够将原本散落在不同地方展出的文物集合在一起，打造成世界级的观光景点。
المتحف فيه أشياء متميز ومتفرد بيها مش موجودة في أي متحف في العالم، زي تصميم المسلة المعلقة، زي الدرج العظيم اللي هو بيعرض كميات من الآثار الثقيلة بهذا الحجم، زي متحف مراكب الملك خوفو، المركب الأولى والمركب الثانية، هو أفضل المتاحف النوعية، بيعرض أكبر وأقدم أثر عضوي في التاريخ، المركب الأولى والمركب الثانية، إلى كنوز الفرعون الذهبي الملك توت عنخ آمون。
除了观光效益之外，大埃及博物馆对于埃及争取文物返还也有极为正面的影响。埃及在殖民时代有大量文物流入西方国家的博物馆，但即使到了现在，这些博物馆也以埃及缺乏文物保存能力为由，合理化当初殖民国家的掠夺行为，甚至因此拒绝返还文物。现在埃及有了这座世界级博物馆，这样的借口已经不再有说服力。
افتتاح المتحف المصري الكبير والتشغيل التجريبي قيمه جدا مهمه، رساله لان احنا نقدر نرجع اثارنا اللي هي في كل دول العالم. الاول كانوا يقولوا احنا عندكم مخازن مش متاحف زي المتحف المصري بالتحديد نظرا لتكدس الاثار. النهارده الميزه ان احنا بنبعت رساله للعالم ان احنا بنحافظ على السياحه، بنحافظ على التراث المصري والثقافه。
事实上，埃及学界已经点名3件落入西方博物馆馆藏的国宝级文物，包括陈列在大英博物馆的罗塞塔石碑、陈列在柏林的纳福蒂蒂双像，以及陈列在法国罗浮宫的丹达腊黄道带浮雕，列为优先返还的对象。对于埃及人来说，这些文物被带出埃及，是西方文化掠夺的象征，应该返还埃及，才真正代表脱离殖民时代。
It's more of a symbol than it's just the historical significance of the stone. يعني لأنه the stone is a symbol of cultural violence, the stone is a symbol of cultural imperialism. So restituting the stone is a symbol of changing things that were no longer in the 19th century, but we're working with an ethical code of the 21st century.
对于这些西方博物馆来说，来自埃及的文物可能是重要的明星展品， 因此不愿意轻易放弃。但是大埃及博物馆的试营运，也让世界各地的参观者发现，这些重要文物如果能在埃及的脉络中展示，就更能体会其真实的文化意义。
جميل جدا بصراحة، يعني ينافس اللوفر بفرنسا والأكروبوليس بآثينا، لا لسه أحلى من اللوفر بفرنسا، لأن كل شيء هنا أوثنتيك، يعني آثارنا من عنا وشكل يعني شكل المتحف كشكل الهرم متناسب جدا مع البيئة المحيطة ما بين اللوفر. جايبين آثار من بلاد الشام وبلاد العراق وإفريقيا ومصر، فجميلة حلوة كثير مرتبة، بس تحسها لا تتناسب، لا تنتمي للمكان الموجودة فيه. عكس هنا كل شيء أوثنتيك وجميل. برافو مصر، تحفة فنية رائعة.
伊达看世界从这一周开始，连续3周推出南太平洋友邦驻台大使专访。下段回来，ITA Special 主题特写，一起来认识吐瓦鲁面对气候变迁的挑战与永续发展课题。
We're honored to welcome our today's distinguished guest, the Chargé d'Affaires of Tuvalu to the Republic of China, Taiwan, Ms. Silafaga Lalua O'Brien.
Talofa, and thank you very much for having me today. I am really honored to be here and to represent the people and the government of Tuvalu.
Tuvalu and Taiwan share a 45-year history of diplomatic relations, making Tuvalu our longest-standing allies in the Pacific region. Ms. O'Brien, could you share more about Tuvalu for our audience and what distinguishes Tuvalu on the global stage?
Tuvalu is a tiny Pacific island country in the South Pacific. It is home to a proud 11,000 people. It is very small, I know, which makes it the 4th smallest country in the world. Tuvalu is a Polynesian country, and as you mentioned, is also an Austronesian country. And because of Austronesia, it has deep roots and ties and connection with the people of Taiwan. Because Tuvalu is small, it's very low-lying. Our highest part of Tuvalu, of our islands, is about 3-4 meters above sea level, which makes it very vulnerable to climate change and the rising sea levels. That's why we are very well known, I guess, on the global stage because of our advocacy for assistance from the global community on our plight as a low-lying, vulnerable country, vulnerable to climate change and its impacts.
At the start of 2024, Tuvalu held its general elections with a new government led by Prime Minister Lidaw, reaffirming its strong ties with Taiwan. So, Ms. O'Brien, could you share with us about how Tuvalu people look at this?
Thank you for the question. That's one of the very first things that Prime Minister felt so strongly about when he announced that Tuvalu will remain as an ally of Taiwan. He was asked by many media people immediately after election where he stands, where his government stands, whether he will continue to be an ally of Taiwan or will he switch to mainland China. And he responded saying that it is not up to him or any government whether we switch or we remain, because the relationship is between the people of Taiwan and the people of Tuvalu. So it is not up to him or his government or any government to make the decision. The decision should come from the people of Tuvalu. And obviously, through the years, having Taiwan's presence in Tuvalu through your embassy, a lot of relationships, friendships, and partnerships have been built because of that. And people of Tuvalu are very loyal to the friends that they have made and the relationships that they have made. So, as as you can see, we are very strongly connected to the people of Taiwan. So that is why when Prime Minister announced where we stand with Taiwan, there was a resounding approval from the people of Tuvalu.
China has intensified its influence in the Pacific, exerting economic pressures on Taiwan's allies in the region. And Ms. O'Brien, could you provide insights into how Tuvalu defends Taiwan's interests in the Pacific, particularly within regional platforms such as the Pacific Islands Forum? And what strategies or actions does Tuvalu employ to counter these mounting pressures from China?
Thank you. The issue with China is one threat, to the people of Tuvalu, especially, for us being in Taiwan. There's always a worry when news come of China's, military drills. In Tuvalu, we are not used to conflicts, and we do not have a military either. And influence like that, kind of intimidates us. But we rely on Taiwan and our very good friends from abroad, like the United States, for our protection and assurance. And that has been part of my job in the past since I got here, is to find assurance and reassurance that everything will be okay. But in the Pacific, as you have said, the Pacific Islands Forum, yes, it's a majority with mainland China. But that does not move us, because our support for Taiwan will remain as long as we are allies of Taiwan. There's only 3 of us, as we all know, Tuvalu, Palau, and the Marshall Islands. And I think we are Taiwan's last leg in the Pacific Islands, and our strong bond, that has brought us closer together. I can say that for us here in Taiwan, it has brought us closer together as people of the Pacific. We understand what we are up against, but we are not moved, and we in the Pacific, we believe that the Pacific Islands Forum, we are founded on trust and values and family values, and we are a family in the Pacific, and we respect each other and the decisions that we make as countries. So as allies of Taiwan in the Pacific, as long as we are allies of the Pacific, we will always advocate for Taiwan and Taiwan's issues wherever we are.
Former Ambassador to the Republic of China, Taiwan, Ambassador Bikenipeu Bainu, has previously framed Tuvalu's decision to recognize Taiwan was largely made based on faith and ideology, explaining that Tuvalu, a deeply Christian country, was wary of the communists. Besides the shared Austronesian heritage, the majority of indigenous peoples in Taiwan and about 86% of Tuvaluans share a common faith in Christianity. Ms. O'Brien, please share with us what is the importance of shared values and faith in the relationship between Tuvalu and Taiwan.
Values are very important, to our lives. In Tuvalu, and I'm sure in Taiwan as well, we have family values that are very important to us. Like we have to have trust, of the people that we love, the people that we call family. And having these shared values, I am sure that is what constitutes our friendship and makes it very strong, the Tuvalu and Taiwan. If you individually, you cannot be friends with somebody who does not share the same values as you, and the same goes with countries as well. And so with Tuvalu and Taiwan sharing a lot of mutual values, I think that is very important, and that is why our friendship has stood the test of time because of what we believe in.
In early December, President Lai Ching-te visited Tuvalu, where he met with Governor General Valani, Prime Minister Teo, and members of the cabinet. In addition to visiting Noti Primary School, the theme of President Lai's visit was smart and sustainable development for a prosperous Austronesian region. And Ms. O'Brien, what is the significance of President Lai's recent visit to Tuvalu? And from the perspective of the Tuvaluan government, what is the significance of emphasizing sustainability during this visit?
Thank you very much. From where I stand, I can say that President Lai's visit to Tuvalu has three significant points. First is the diplomatic importance, being an ally for Taiwan for 45 years. I think it is important that he reinforces that the importance of being an ally of the three Pacific Islands, especially for Tuvalu. Two, it is very important, it's very significant to note the strategic, importance of Tuvalu as one of the last three allies of Taiwan in the Pacific. It is an opportunity for Taiwan to reinforce its presence in the Pacific. And three, it is significant because it is an opportunity to strengthen the partnerships that Tuvalu that Taiwan has with Tuvalu. And the significance of the sustainability themes, in President Lai's visit, as well as former President Tsai's, it's important, very important, because we are all about sustainability in Tuvalu with all the challenges that Tuvalu is facing. If we put all our efforts in, and I think I can say that all the efforts that we are doing at the moment is to ensure that Tuvalu is sustained, for our future generations. With climate change and sea level rising, scientists predict doom for Tuvalu in the decades to come, and that is why we are very vocal on the international platform for climate change and sea level rise. So the big emitter countries can come on board and bring action, to reduce the effects of the impacts that climate change is having on our islands. So our children's children can still live on Tuvalu and be called Tuvaluans and still have a sovereign country in Tuvalu. And that is why it's very important for Taiwan to ensure this sustainability. And the sustainability of peoples to me is very, very important.
Tuvalu and the Council of Indigenous Peoples of Taiwan, CIP, continue to foster Austronesian cultural exchange. So, Ms. O'Brien, could you provide an overview of the past and ongoing cooperation between Tuvalu and the Indigenous Peoples of Taiwan? Additionally, how significant is it to highlight the shared Austronesian heritage of our peoples?
To be honest, I first learned about Austronesia and that Tuvalu Tuvaluan people came from Taiwan as part of Austronesian peoples. It made me so happy, and I'm sure it will make a lot of Tuvaluans happy once they get to know about it. I am so happy to know and to be able to play a little role in the organization of the Austronesian Language Revitalization Forum to be hosted in Tuvalu in 2025. I am thankful to my leaders for ensuring that this happens. And I know that this platform is a very significant platform for people of Tuvalu and people of Taiwan to build on our existing relationships, and also for young people in Tuvalu to learn more about us, and our being part of the Austronesian family. I think that is very important, since from where I stand, it is not widely known that we are an Austronesian country from Taiwan, and I think that I am certain that this is going to be one of the greatest platforms, to further strengthen and solidify relationship between the people of Tuvalu and the people of Taiwan.
In November 2021, Tuvalu's former Foreign Minister, Honorable Simon Goffey, delivered a speech at COP26 highlighting Tuvalu's position on the front line of climate change. The speech, which garnered significant attention on social media, emphasized the severe impacts of climate change and the rising sea levels. Ms. O'Brien, given that climate change poses an existential threat to Tuvalu, could you elaborate on the measures the Tuvaluan government is taking to mitigate its effects?
Firstly, I have to say that I am not a climate expert, and Tuvalu is a very small and poor country, and with very little resources, if any. Our former Foreign Minister, Honorable Simon Goffey, said a lot of truths, or all truths about our situation on the ground. It is, a lot of people can talk about climate change and how it affects, people, and they can predict, they can assume, but, in Tuvalu we live with those impacts on a daily basis. And so we have done everything that and we are still doing. And what we are doing is being very vocal and bringing, big emitter countries to task, to help us, build our capability to withstand the impacts of climate change. Since 2021, we have had our TCAP, and that's TCAP project, and that's Tuvalu Coastal Adaptation Project. Our TCAP 1 has just completed this year, and it's an additional, it's a reclaimed land, in front of our coast. It has added a lot of additional land, and it has also been raised above the sea level, the normal sea, above the sea level for during cyclones. That the highest level that the tide could get to during cyclones. And we have collaborated with the Global Environment Facility, the GEF, through the United Nations, and they have funded that first part of our adaptation project. Because in Tuvalu we cannot do much but adapt, because we are an absolute flat island and there are no mountains. So with other countries in the world that are being impacted by climate change, they have the luxury of big masses of land where they can run inwards when storms and cyclones and other natural disasters occur. They can also run to the mountains to get away from the rising sea levels. But in Tuvalu we do not have that, and the only thing that we can do is adapt. And adapt we have done over the past decades. And TCAP 1 is that first project that has completed, and provided a lot of added security to the people of Tuvalu. Although I have to say that our Tuvaluans are very resilient people. You know, we are faced with this every day, every year. You know, during the same time of the year, or during our cyclone season, we get faced with a lot of issues with, seawater inundation, and but we get up, we dust ourselves off, and we continue because life goes on in Tuvalu, and with collaboration with development partners like the United Nations and Jeff and other countries who are helping us, like Taiwan. We are very thankful. We are very lucky to have very generous friends from around the world. Right now we're having TCAP 2, a follow-up of that, a continuation rather of that TCAP, initial TCAP project. And our sponsors include Taiwan, and we are very thankful that Taiwan is helping us face the challenges that we are facing on a daily basis.
And during COP27, Honorable Simon Goffey announced that Tuvalu would become the first digital nation, recreating its land digitally and archiving its rich history and culture, as well as moving all governmental functions into a digital space. And how has Taiwan, as a leader in technology, supported Tuvalu in transforming its digital landscape? And what are the key technological cooperation projects currently being undertaken between Tuvalu and Taiwan?
Thank you. As we speak, there's a vessel for the undersea cable has arrived in Funafuti Harbor, and that's where our undersea cable project is about to start, and Taiwan is one of the major partners in this project. And this project this undersea cable will ensure that the entire country will be connected to the internet, which is very important now that everybody is, everything is online. And Tuvalu has had very expensive internet connection and very unreliable internet connection for the past decade. So it's very important that we have this undersea cable project underway. Taiwan has also assisted us in ensuring that and the construction of our 4G towers, on 3 of the islands so far. So from the most northern island, Nanumea, Lidaw, and Vaitupu. So the people from on these islands are in a better position now to be connected to the internet, so they can with the magic of technology, they connect to families everywhere in the world. And and Taiwan has helped immensely to Tuvalu's realization of its technological dreams. As with Tuvalu's dream of becoming the first digital nation, it is new to many, but it is acceptable given the plight that Tuvalu is facing with climate change and sea level rising. Seeing the demonstration of Tuvalu as a digital nation, it is scary to a certain point, because it will mean that we will lose our island and our country. Although the digital nation, objective is to ensure that Tuvalu will maintain its sovereignty as a country, even though it might go under the water, but it will still be counted and existed as a sovereign country. You know, these are all the impacts that climate change brings and sea level rise. And before we can become the first digital nation, maybe all countries that can do something, and to ensure that that we can cut back on our fossil fuel reliance. So tiny islands like Tuvalu can survive.
Thank you very much, María O'Brien, for accepting today's interview.
Thank you so much for sharing. Let's take a break, and for more stories from ITA See the World, please stay tuned.
楚英文化艺术团与台师大民族音乐研究所合作，将15首马兰部落复音歌谣以影像音乐书进行出版。下一段回来，ITA Beyond一起来关注阿美族复音歌谣的传承。欢迎回到ITA看世界。花莲县东昌村里漏部落深受族人敬重的西嘎瓦塞庄美眉近日离世，让在地亲友以及追随她10几年的晚辈们感到非常的不舍。今天的ITA Beyond首先带你一起来关注这一则报道，接下来把时间交给英语主播Lidaw。
It's January 7th. You're watching ITA Beyond. I'm Lidaw. Dongchang Lilaw village in Hualien County mourns the loss of Abah Agus, a 96-year-old Shigawasai. Throughout her life, she fulfilled the lifelong duties of a shaman with unwavering commitment, earning the respects of her people, and her passing also marks the end of an era.
Amid solemn farewells, Abah Agus' casket was slowly carried out of the community as friends and families struggled to contain their grief. In the Lidaw village of Hualien's Jian Township, Abah Agus, also known as Strong Mei Mei, was a highly respected shaman. At over 19 years old, she had more than 15 years of experience performing indigenous community rituals. Her presence was a constant at every major ceremony. The news of her passing has left the younger generation who had followed her for decades deeply heartbroken.
Maulah kami tu cinaan tu si cabai kami talato ami poh ciraha. Anini ada tu cirayara tu cai ka kahia ku balutsu ni malali wani rasa. Masa kuawa datangi ca amin kuawa manana ca ada nu tirang hau.
Born in the Nataulan village, Abah Agus moved to Lidaw after marriage and began her shaman's journey at the age of 40, when chosen by ancestral spirits. Under the guidance of senior shamans, she dedicated herself to performing indigenous community rituals. Her death also marked the end of an era.
Manata anini chat kacat kuzi tai kiai ano ayaw niyan no mitudo ay cha niyan no kapot anako tang kamen to isa ibaluson to ko baluso pi nanam tinian ad makan kya kapah kita o nyero anak ta o binolang anako
那他从40岁入门一直到现在，整个执行这个阿美族的祭文化，尤其是里漏社的部分呢，已经50几年了，对这个阿美族的传统信仰的保存深具贡献啊。我们还是非常的难过啊，但是呢，我们也祝福我们巴古斯高阿塞祭司啊，可以一路好走。
Traditional leader Riban recalled that in the past, their community had over 40 Shigawasai, which made performing rituals much easier. Now there are only 6 remaining in Lidaw, holding on to the responsibility of maintaining these rituals. Fortunately, with changing times, some community members have begun to respect and learn about shamanic culture. However, ensuring the continued inheritance of these beautiful traditional practices remains a challenge for the community.
Mazazafai is a polyphonic singing technique unique to the Falangao village. It was recognized as a nationally important traditional performing art in 2021, spearheaded by the Chuyin Culture and Arts Troupe. The troupe is now working with National Taiwan Normal University to produce visual recordings of Mazazafai singing.
A tenor singer leads off other voices in a machachalai performance. This polyphonic singing technique, unique to the Falangao village in eastern Taiwan, was recognized as a nationally important traditional performing art in April 2021. The Chuyin Culture and Arts Troupe played an important role in obtaining official recognition for this indigenous art form. The troupe has now reached another milestone in revitalizing Machatalai singing by publishing audio and visual recordings for 15 Falangao folk songs. The group hopes that these recordings can help future generations preserve and learn these songs as accurately as possible.
在歌曲诠释上，有时候老人家也是说忘了，不晓得，但是我们很可以明确的唱给他们听了，因为他们也有传承了，然后我们又有依据。
影像的录制呢，会让我们看到歌者到底是由哪一位所唱出的，因为呢，这是一种对话性质的歌谣。另外呢，有领唱、合腔的部分。
The Falangao Machatalai has different songs for a variety of situations. The lead singer begins with one melody, then another singer improvises with a higher counterpoint melody. Working with National Taiwan Normal University's Graduate Institute of Ethnomusicology, Chuyin produced sheet music for the folk songs as well as performance videos so that the singing can be both seen and heard. This allows learners to better identify the different singing parts, as well as better understand the performance style through the movements of the singers. The recordings were launched on December 18th, including ritual music as well as everyday songs. The recordings will be used for cultural education in schools and in indigenous communities, as well as for academic research.
有时候他们常常会忘记，不晓得是说要唱哪一首，然后怎么唱就是那几首。那我们这样子唱的话，可以去累积铺垫，或者是说不要再重复过去的那种费力。
The Chuyin Culture and Arts Troupe will continue to produce sheet music and recordings with the goal of 45 songs in 3 years, so that Amis polyphonic singing can be passed down to future generations.
That's all for today. Join us next week for more news coverage. 接下来国际上还有哪些焦点新闻？ITA News Flash 快新闻带您一起来扫描。
位于墨西哥奥哈卡州的提奥蒂特兰德瓦耶小镇，因干旱导致水资源短缺，影响地毯手工艺生产。这座历史悠久的小镇以精致的地毯闻名，但由于水源匮乏，当地工匠被迫以高价购水，用于羊毛染色和清洗，推高了生产成本。为解决水资源短缺问题，该社区的2名高中生设计了一套低成本的水质过滤系统，利用塑胶容器和石铜与木炭等天然材料，有效过滤并回收使用过的水，回收率高达90%。这些回收水可用于灌溉和地毯染色，大幅减少了水资源浪费。这项创新不仅解决了当地手工业的困境，还让他们获得今年有水界的诺贝尔奖之称的斯德哥尔摩青少年水奖的卓越奖。洗米、蒸米、制作酒母，清酒酿造的过程复杂且精密。而位于东京历史悠久的酒厂石川酒造正面临前所未有的困境。由于不寻常的暖冬气候影响稻米品质与收成，导致米价上涨，清酒酿造成本飙升。再加上日本国内消费者口味的转变，对于鸡尾酒的喜好逐渐取代了传统的清酒消费。而石川酒造的3段式酿造技术成为困难破口。该酿酒技术历来是日本酒文化的重要部分，也将正式获得联合国教科文组织认证，成为日本第23项非物质文化遗产。随着清酒在全球逐渐受到关注，这项认证将促进海外市场需求，让更多国际消费者认识并喜爱这项传统日本酒。 优美琴声响起，仿佛身处古希腊时期，外形和声音酷似吉他，视为古希腊的传统乐器里拉琴。在希腊北部的埃夫罗波斯村，41岁的音乐家兼乐器制作者丹尼斯专心雕刻木质音箱，以动物皮革覆盖后安装9根弦线。他根据古代壁画和陶器上的图像，成功制作了古希腊乐器的复制品。这些复刻的乐器不仅是对过去的致敬，也成为当代音乐的桥梁。这些复刻的里拉琴被专业音乐家、作曲家、学者和收藏家购买，也出现在包括好莱坞经典《宾汉重拍》等电影中。
藤壶是一种非常受西班牙民众喜爱的海鲜佳肴，特别是产自西北部险峻的死亡海岸岩礁上的藤壶，因为独特的风味和艰辛的采集过程，在圣诞跨年假期间的价格可高达每公斤200欧元，相当于台币6800元。
不过，气候变迁驱动的海水增温，严重影响了藤壶需要生活在寒冷海水中的生存条件。又因为价格昂贵、非法采集猖獗，以及工作风险高，年轻人从事意愿低。未来死亡海岸上藤壶采集者和大海拼搏的画面，恐怕会越来越少看到了。我是Wagi，
我是Lidaw，感谢您的收看，下周再会。